Hello everyone, my name is Nandini Singh and welcome back to my channel. My gala is excuse me, my gala is so bad, so kharab. But this video is related to my second CA of Political Theory, Pol 110. Um, and this video is like going to be based on the concept of liberty. And I'm doing this from my C in this bad halat. I hope my professor won't deduct my numbers. Like, please, Nong sir, please don't do it. I'm almost dying and I'm still doing it, okay? So in this video, we are going to cover the concepts like understanding the meaning of liberty, its types, dimensions, and types, dimension, liberty is scope, and at the end we'll derive a conclusion. Okay, so please मेरे पे का आसान करना कि मेरे number मत काटना. Anyway, so let's move into the first part, which is understanding what liberty is. Okay, so if we study the the literal definitions, it will be like that liberty simply means the absence of unnecessary restraints on an individual's actions. It allows people to live their lives freely as long as they don't harm others. Basically, freedom is when I have freedom to do anything I want and you have freedom to do anything you want. Okay, this means that I can harm you, you can harm me, and there is no restraint. This is the absolute freedom which can lead to license. License is the state, that is the phase where there is no limitations in one's freedom, which will violate others' right. So there will be like lots of chaos in the society. That is why we have liberty. Liberty is when we have limited limitations on our freedom. Basically, जब हम अपनी फ्रीडम को एक्सरसाइज करते हैं तो हम उसे इस वे में एक्सरसाइज करें कि सामने वाले को कोई हार्म ना हो. सब लोग अपनी जो फ्रीडम है उसको बहुत ही एक सिविल वे में, एक अच्छे वे में, इस वे में कि किसी और को हार्म ना हो, जब हम उसको एक्सरसाइज करते हैं तो उसको बोलते हैं लिबर्टी. ओके, एंड हार्म प्रिंसिपल इज द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल कि आप किसी को हार्म नहीं कर रहे हो. ठीक है, देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ एक्शन, सेल्फ हार्म एंड अदर हार्म. सेल्फ हार्म में जब हम खुद को हार्म कर रहे होते हैं, एंड अदर हार्म में जब हम हमारे एक्शन से किसी और को हार्म हो रहा होता है. ओके, now if we read the scholars definitions, first we have J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill states that liberty means pursuing our own good in our own way as long as we do not harm others. So harm principle was given by J.S. Mill, that is why it is mentioned here. Other one, we have Lasky's definition, which says that liberty is the eager maintenance of conditions in which people can develop their personality. Okay, so liberty is not just doing anything you want. It is about creating conditions where individuals can grow. Not one, not me, but us, everyone together. So this was the introduction, and now we will move ahead where we will understand thoroughly the difference between liberty and freedom, though I have already explained it in a very short way, but let's see what is written here, because we just need to carry on the professionalism, which does not care. Anyway, number mat kaatna. So okay, most people think that liberty and freedom are equal, but since we are students of political science, we need to understand this concept. So freedom is a natural, unrestricted state where you can do anything. Like since I have to put this video on social media, on YouTube, I cannot mention words like that, because it is against the policies. But just understand, you can do anything when you have freedom, but when you have liberty, you cannot do. You can do things related to you, but not in a manner like you cannot exercise your freedom in a manner that it can harm others. Freedom with limitations, freedom with restrictions is liberty. That is very, very simple, and I don't think anyone else can, like, there can be simpler uh, explanation than this. Okay, so freedom is basically absolute, but liberty is regulated so that one person's freedom does not destroy another one's. Okay, so कितने minute के- oh, it's already 6. Anyway, next we have the scope of liberty. uh, Scope of liberty, when we talk about liberty, we can be talking about it in like many aspects. Okay, so its scope is really very, very wide, very broader. Okay, uh, it can be like, we can say it in various fields like political liberty, civil liberty, economic liberty, social liberty, and moral liberty. So liberty covers everything from how we think, how we speak, and how we live. Political liberty, I'll just give a few examples. Political liberty is like right to vote, right to contest elections, right to campaign for, like, basically anything related to politics, direct politics. You can take participation in election process to elect your representative. That is political liberty. Civil liberty is like freedom of speech, movement, religion, and forming the associations, organizations. The Sambro rights, Article 19 of Indian Constitution uh, covers the civil liberty. And then we have economic liberty, like right to work, earn, occupation, property. Well, property is not under the fundamental rights. Abhi, right to property is actually legal right under Article 300A, and it was removed. I don't remember, maybe 42nd or 44th Amendment Act from the fundamental rights. So now we have only 6 fundamental rights anyway. Then we have social liberty, like equality, dignity, and no discriminations. It goes from Article 14 to Article 17 and somehow 18. Okay, and then we have moral liberty, like freedom to choose personal beliefs and values, and these are also in our fundamental rights. I hope I'm not speaking very, very slow because my throat really hurts. Okay, so let's move on to the next part, which is liberty and authority. So we will understand the relation between liberty and authority. So first we need to understand the difference between authority and power. Power can be any power: muscular power, ideological power. Power is just power. Anything in a natural and a very raw form is power. Okay? But when the power gets legitimacy, it becomes authority. This is very simple. Okay? Example, if I push you, that's my power. If I have muscles, so I don't have, if I'm very bulky and all, then I do have muscular power. If I'm very smart, then I have intellectual powers, so that I can manipulate others and all. That's power. Power is just power. But if any power gets legitimacy, it becomes authority. For example, a very good professor of like he's a professor of elements of public administration, he gave us a very, very, very incredible example which will make it clear. So I'm gonna just repeat it. Okay, a truck which has so many horsepower, right? And maybe the truck driver is also, just assume the truck driver is also very bulky and very muscular. He'll just punch, he'll just slap him, and they have the uh, you know he's just gone, ठीक है. But a very lean and very skinny police officer can that officer has the power, has the authority to stop that truck, to to ask questions, to investigate that truck driver and the truck and all. So that is the difference between power and authority. The police wala don't have the muscular power and the huge truck, but he has the authority. He has the power which is legitimate under the constitution, under the laws. This means he has the authority. Meanwhile, the truck driver has muscular power. He has the truck, but he does not have authority. Okay, so who is more stronger here? That's the question. Anyway. Now if we talk about how liberty is related to authority, so we often think that liberty and authority are so different things, because authority might be related to dictatorship and all, and liberty is more democratic, but no. There should be a very a mediator, arbitrator, more like. So the authority acts like that in the field of liberty, we can say. And then we have dimensions of liberty. There are basically ऊपर से 3 types of dimensions. हर किसी में ऐसा ही होता है, ठीक है, which are social, economical and political. Political liberty is, as I've already told you, anything related to politics like elections and all is political. Economic is our money related things, and social is कि आप सोसाइटी में किस वे में रह रहे हो और कैसे आपको रहने दिया जा रहा है, आप कैसे रहना चाहते हो. These things are related to the dimensions of liberty. And then we have 2 types of so what can we say, these are also types: negative liberty and positive liberty. Negative liberty is like freedom from external restrictions. State stays away from interfering in your actions. Example: freedom of speech, freedom to choose a job. And Sarah Berlin called it freedom from interference. While the positive liberty means freedom to develop yourself, state takes positive steps so that people can actually use their freedom. Example: education rights, health facilities, welfare policies. And if you can understand this, you can also get how authority is like very important part in the exercising the liberty. So negative liberty is when this like the most important point. Negative liberty is when state does not interfere at all, and positive liberty is when state has positive interference, minimal interference. ठीक है, minimal छोटू सा बिल्कुल, जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि हर कोई लिबर्टी एक्सरसाइज कर रहा है एंड वो लाइसेंस नहीं बन रहा है, ठीक है. We have talked about license, right? I'm not sure if we have talked about it or not, but let me just tell you that license is state when there is chaos in society due to everyone's freedom and no liberty. That's it. So in conclusion, I've written that liberty is at the heart of every democratic society. It is not just the absence of restrictions, but the presence of opportunities. Balancing liberty, authority and responsibility is the key to a just and a free society. But what I think, like, of course this is for the written part, I'm gonna say what I think only, okay? to add my, you know, because this is my video and I can say whatever I want, I can say whatever I think about it. So personally, I'm a communist, uh, and liberty should be, you know, not very minimal, but I think we should go with, you know, the positive liberty where the state interferes.